Very good afternoon, everyone. I am Krishna Kumar from Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be University, our GRI center. We are on the fourth day of our 5-day webinar series, and today we have uh, distinguished guest, Professor Akhilesh Kumar Verma of Delhi University. Uh, to introduce Professor Akhilesh, he is all-rounder by profession. He is professor of chemistry, but today he is going to talk about Make in India initiative, COVID-19 pandemic, and future challenges. This is what the title will be. I will hand over to my colleague, Captain Ravi Shankar, to introduce Professor Akhilesh Verma.
ऐसे ही मोड़ लेता हूँ. Very good afternoon to all of you. On the fourth day of the 5-day webinar series conducted by GRE Center, on behalf of Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed University, I, Captain V. Ravi Shankar Iyer, welcome Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Verma, serving professor in Organic Chemistry, Department of Chemistry, Delhi University. Welcome, Dr. Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Verma is a professor in Organic Chemistry and the Department of Chemistry, Delhi University, Delhi since 1988. He have a rich 22 years of experience. We have a very rich 22 years of experience in teaching, out of which he has a remarkable research experience of 20 years. He has guided 28 PhD scholars and having 120 publications and 15 research projects more than worth 4.5 CR. He had delivered 80 international lectures in abroad and 66 in India. He joined as an assistant professor in 1998 in Dr. Ambedkar Center for Biomedical Research in Delhi University and as a professor since 2013 in the University of Delhi. His area of research is synthetic organic chemistry. Among the many meritorious awards and honors, he has been awarded Dr. Abdul Kalam National Dedication Award in 2020 in the field of science and technology. He has got many NOST Best Thesis Awards in his career under his faculty. I request Dr. S.P. Kishakumar to take further this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind introduction.
Thank you, sir.
Professor, we have a tedious task of your biodata. Uh, I'm sure with your kind of knowledge and experience, this session particularly, it's really going to enrich our participants today and here onwards on the YouTube. I welcome you, Professor. Over to you.
Thank you. So, are you able to see the slides?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Krishna for inviting me in this webinar. And I am very happy to share some of my thoughts about this presentation, in which you will find some different kind of things, because see, I am an organic chemist and I gave so many lectures on the reaction mechanism, organic chemistry. But today is the first time I'm going to speak totally on a different kind of the title, which is Make in India Initiative, COVID-19 Pandemic and Future Challenges. So this is the title which I chose because by looking the current scenario all over the world and in our country. And if you look In this title, there are three words: Make in India initiative, COVID-19 pandemic, and the future challenges. As we all know, in the present condition in our country, and this COVID-19 has changed the lifestyle of the people living in India as well as in abroad. So today in my presentation, I'll bring out something about what is Make in India initiative, how this COVID-19 pandemic has changed our lifestyle, and what are the future challenges. So if you look this Make in India initiative, which is launched by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, on 25th September 2014. And what is the objective behind this scheme is to encourage companies to manufacture their products in India and dedicate their investment into the manufacturing. And, if you recall this launch of this scheme in 2014, and since 2014 till date, if we look, there are a lot of changes has occurred in our country, and because of this initiative, though we have started very slowly, but this is the right time to hit and use this initiative and start building of our country. And by using this Make in India initiative, we can be in the top of the world. Uh, and look, in the Make in India project involves 25 priority sector, which are very, very important for any country for the GDP as well as utility of all these 25 sectors. You can see automobiles component, aviation, biotechnology, chemicals, construction, defense manufacturing, electrical machinery, electronic system, food processing, IT, BPM, leather, media entertainment, mining, oil and gases, pharmaceuticals, ports, railways, renewable energy, roads and highways, space, textile and garments, thermal power, tourism, hospitality, and wellness. So these are the 25 priority sector which our Prime Minister has chosen for this Make in India initiative scheme, and where they are promoting the people and the companies, those who are working in these sectors. So, what are the advantages of Make in India initiative? To generate employment opportunities for our people, to increase the GDP by expanding economic growth. When FDI inflow becomes more, the rupee will be strengthened. And we all know what is the condition of at present of our rupees. So it is very, very important the FDI inflow is required in our country so that we can strengthen our rupees. Small manufacturer will get a thrust, particularly when investor from abroad invest in them. When countries invest in India, they will also bring with them the latest technology in various fields. Due to various initiatives taken under this mission, India has moved up rank in EOBD. EOBD means ease of doing business. Setting up manufacturing centers and factories near rural areas. This is a very, very important point here in that if we set up the factories near to the rural areas, what will happen? Like movement of the people from rural areas to the major city, metro city will stop and they will get the job uh, uh, in their place. And we all are facing so much problem because of COVID-19 pandemic. What is COVID-19? It is a virus. And we all know we are living with the virus since a long time. But this virus is a different kind of virus. So coronavirus are large family of viruses that can cause respiratory illness, such as common cold. It was first discovered in domestic poultry in 1930s. Cause respiratory, gastrointestinal, liver, and neurologic diseases in animals. The scientists first identified a human coronavirus in 1965. It caused a common cold. Later, a group of similar human and animal viruses were found having crown-like appearance. Among them, 7 coronavirus can infect human. Out of 7, there are 4 which are non-lethal, and the rest 3 are can infect the human cells. You can see the most coronavirus are not dangerous, but some are. You might have heard MERS virus, that is called Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. And another one is called SARS virus. What is the SARS virus? Is severe acute respiratory syndrome. And the recently discovered is called SARS-CoV-2. P2. That is called COVID-19. That can be a deadly. Now, if you look this slide shows explain everything. So coronavirus are tiny with a set of genes, proteins, a fatty membrane. And these viruses need a living host to multiply, but some can survive in air, water, and on surface for many days. Coronavirus cause respiratory infection and other serious illness. COVID-19 caused by a new coronavirus resembles the season's flu, but spread faster than the deadlier. If we look the size of this coronavirus in human cell, if you look this human cell is a thousands time bigger than the coronavirus. Is a very tiny, and even though with the naked eye no one can see. In the microscope you need a 2 3 pieces in that eyepieces to see that one. So if you look, this virus look like a spiky ball. Spikes help this virus to stick tightly to cells in the nose and throat. You can see here it's a human cell and protein, and these are the spikes. By using these spikes, this virus stick uh, on the surface of cell or anywhere. Its spikes attach to cell in many organs, especially lungs, more strongly than other viruses. And how you can protect yourself? Cover your mouth and nose while sneezing and coughing. Avoid spitting in public. If you have fever, cough, and difficulty in breathing, please seek medical help. Avoid touching face, eyes, or nose. Clean your hands, and preferably with the soap. Stay at home unless going out is essential. And if you can look here, so this is a soap molecule, and soap molecule, if you rub your hand just in 20 seconds can break the fatty membrane of the virus and kill it. This is what is the mechanism what we are using the soap with the base. So base is there that break the membrane and kill the virus. Now in next slide you will see a clear-cut picture structure of this virus. And now you can see here what coronavirus has. You can see all these are spiked. By using these spikes, this virus stick on the cell. The coronavirus genome encode is spike protein, that's called S. You can see here these are called spike protein, and envelope protein, which is denoted as E. This is you can see here is a envelope protein, is here, and a membrane protein is called M here. This is membrane protein, and a nucleoprotein which is called N is a nucleoprotein inside. The virus genome is a continuous linear single strand RNA, and the molecular weight is, now you can see the molecular weight. Molecular weight is usually 33,796.64 Dalton, or 5.6 into 10 power minus 20 gram. The weight is very, very light. And this was published recently in the Journal of Pharmacoanalysis in this year only, in the beginning of this year. The attack of virus on human body. You can see the virus, how it goes inside. It goes through the neck and throat, and then it mainly target the lungs. You can see here, the lungs are infected with the coronavirus. When a human body reports corona positive, this microbial virus infect with a minimum number of 70 billion. You can imagine 70, minimum number of 70 billion this coronavirus, then only you will say you are infected. Now worldwide, more than 15.1 million people have been infected with the coronavirus. And that means a small virus brought the entire world on knees. These are the common drugs currently we are using. So most important is remdesivir. And if you look the remdesivir, this is the chain or structure which is mainly responsible for the activity. Where you can see this carbon-carbon bond is there, and you have a cyano group which is mainly responsible. Another drug which is currently in use is hydroxychloroquine, and I think all of you know this hydroxychloroquine we have given to so many countries, even the US, Brazil, several countries. We have just given this hydroxychloroquine because India is one of the main hub for the this pharmaceutical industries, and we are manufacturing this hydro hydroxychloroquine and remdesivir. But the major point is, for the manufacturing of these drugs, all the required starting substrate and ingredient we are importing from the China. And hydroxychloroquine, this side chain is mainly responsible, where you have a CH2CH2OH. Later on, I'll tell you why these drugs are affecting and what is the mechanism behind this. And the another third drug which is currently in use, a ritonavir, where you can see these I have encircled is a pyrazole ring. One you have isopropyl ring, and another you have only the pyrazole ring. What is the mechanism of action of remdesivir? And now look here. This is the simple structure of adenosine, a nucleobase. And if you look the structure of remdesivir, what is the difference between this and this here? The carbon-carbon bond is present in remdesivir, and in adenosine, you can see here you have a bond between carbon and the nitrogen. And another difference you can see here is in this drug is a cyano group. And the presence of this carbon-nitrogen bond in adenosine. However, in remdesivir, you can see the carbon-carbon bond. So carbon-carbon, breaking of the carbon-carbon bond required more energy and is difficult. However, when we look the carbon-nitrogen bond, the nitrogen is being more electronegative than the carbon. So the bond becomes weak and it can be easily break or it can be easily cleaved. Now you can see here, due to presence of cyano group in sugar, here in the cyno group. The shape of sugar, which in turn distorts the shape of the RNA strand, and terminates the production of the RNA strand, and ultimately sabotage the replication of the virus. This is how this the mechanism of this drug takes places, which is mainly due to the presence of the cyno group in the sugar backbone. Thus, this drug proves to be very important for the treatment of RNA virus. Another important structural feature is the change of one particular chemical bond on the molecule. As I explained just now, if you look this adenosine, that this is a sugar, where you can see the bond between carbon and nitrogen is there. However, in the remdesivir, you will see here the bond between carbon and carbon is stronger than the carbon and the nitrogen. So this is a critical to the success of this drug, because coronaviruses have a special enzyme that recognize unnatural nucleoside and clips them out, which is not possible in case of remdesivir. By changing this chemical bond, this drug cannot be removed by the enzyme, allowing it to stay in the growing chain and block the replication. This is how this remdesivir drug function, and this stop the replication of this RNA, particularly you can say the enzyme. The second drug is commonly in use is called hydroxychloroquine. So what is the main function of hydroxychloroquine? Actually, this virus replication required low pH inside the endosome. So if pH is low inside the endosome, the virus can easily replicate. However, with the use of chloroquine, it increases the pH inside the endosome, and thus it reduces the replication of the virus inside the cell. So both the drug has a different mechanism of action. The earlier we have, it is because of the sugar backbone, and which is presence of the cyno is distorted. However, in case of hydroxychloroquine, it is a pH mainly responsible for its activity. And now come to the very simple and few daily use this concept. Sanitizers and disinfectants, the chemical of prevention. We are all using hand sanitizers. Hand sanitizers are used to decrease infectious agent on the hands. Alcohol-based sanitizers are preferable to hand washing with the soap and water due to its effectiveness at reducing bacteria. Alcohol-based versions typically contains some combination of isopropyl alcohol, ethanol, or propanol. These are the commonly used alcohols are used for sanitizers. Isopropyl, it can be isopropyl alcohol, ethanol you can find anywhere, and propanol. Even though if you don't find in the market, one can easily make these at home also. You can get the ethanol or isopropanol, but you have to be very careful to see whether there is any contamination of methanol. These are the structure of ethanol, propanol, and isopropanol. Other ingredients including glycerol for moisturization and hydrogen peroxide to prevent bacterial contamination in hand sanitizers. These are, so beside these alcohols in water, what is used is glycerol and hydrogen peroxide. So this you can get easily in the market, and if you have to use in bulk for a purpose of any like if you have a bigger area and you need a larger quantity of this sanitizer in a bulk, you can make it at home also. Like ethanol and isopropanol, methanol is also an alcohol. However, methanol cannot be used as a hand sanitizer because ethanol produces acetate in the body, isopropanol produces acetone in the body, while methanol produces formic acid in the body, which is highly toxic. You can see how this ethanol breakdowns. These are the, we have enzymes present inside the body, NAD, and first ethanol oxidizes into aldehyde, then it further oxidizes into acetic acid, and acetic acid converts into acetyl coenzyme A. When you have a methanol, what will happen? Methanol first will oxidize into formaldehyde, then formic acid. Formic acid decomposes into CO2 and water. So this formic acid is poisonous. It's not good for health. When you are using isopropanol in your sanitizers or it is present in sanitizers, what happens? Because this is a secondary alcohol, it will oxidize into acetone. So this is what is the chemistry behind the using these alcohols in sanitizers. If they have ethanol, it's good. Isopropanol is also okay, but if you have ethanol, it's not good for health. What are the sanitizers? Amount of alcohol used in sanitizers. 60 to 70% of alcohol is ideal to a solution for hand sanitizers. It denatures the structure of protein and destroys the cell wall of bacteria. This is how why this is used. The presence of water is a crucial factor in destroying or inhibiting the growth of pathogenic microorganisms with alcohol. The water content slows the evaporation, therefore increasing the surface contact time, and enhancing effectiveness. If you use excess of sanitizer, multiples after some time continuously you are using hand sanitizer, it is also not good. Why? Because reasons are there. In sanitizers, what happens? Harmful ingredient, the trichloroethane is present, which you can see here is a phenolic OH is present, which is not good for your all the time in hands. And this also causes dryness of skin, and alcohol poisoning can also be there. Not effective against norovirus, does not work on dirty hands. Unknown chemicals added for fragrance, because you can see there are different colors you can see in the sanitizers. And how this color comes? Because they have to use some color ingredients or some chemicals for giving the colors. And beside this, there is one more drawback is there for these sanitizers, because they have alcohols and alcohol are flammable. So these are some harmful effect and drawback. So you have to use this carefully, and whenever required, then you have to use. So what is the role of disinfectants? Now you can see everywhere people are using this sodium hypochlorite, and this for spraying in the societies and the road, on the buildings. So what are disinfectants? Are chemical agent applied to non-living object in order to destroy bacteria, viruses, fungi, mold, or wildlife living on the object. So sodium hypochlorite is a compound that can be effectively used on a large scale for surface purification, bleaching, odor removal, and water disinfection. In 1785, French scientist Berthollet developed a liquid is bleaching agent based on the sodium hypochlorite used to bleach cotton fabric. So you can see here 1785 long back. Berthollet is a very well-known scientist, and he used this chlorine gas and sodium hydroxide and made sodium hypochlorite and use it for bleaching of cotton. Important properties of NaOCl, sodium hypochlorite. Due to the presence of caustic soda in sodium hypochlorite, the pH of the water is increased. Now, the most important is whenever any chemical is used, anything is used in the water, the pH becomes a crucial and very, very important factor. When sodium hypochlorite dissolve in water, HOCl is hypochlorous acid forms, which plays a role for the oxidation and disinfecting. Common use of NaOCl, sodium hypochlorite, you can see here. In bleach, 70% solution of NaOCl produced is used to make bleach. HOCl, hypochlorous acid produced, is a strong oxidizing agent that break down many organic molecules. It also used as a nerve agent neutralization. However, here you can see here 70% solution. Here it is used in 50% solution for blister and nerve agent discontamination. In swimming pool, this sodium hypochlorite is also used in swimming pool. It increases the pH value, and chlorine present in NaOCl kills pathogenic microorganisms that are present in the water. In antibacterial spray, the hypochlorous acid attacks the proteins. See, when the sodium hypochlorite is there, it reacts with the water and forms a hypochlorous acid, which is mainly responsible for the effect. So the hypochlorous acid attacks the protein in the cell of microbes and bursts their cell membrane and destroy. Besides this advantage, there are some disadvantages of sodium hypochlorite. Sodium hypochlorite are corrosive to metal, cause skin irritation and mucous membrane damage. The latter is of concern as chlorine can combine with the organic substances to form toxic chlorinated compounds such as trichloromethane and dioxins. These trichloromethane and dioxins are poisonous. Another thing, don't use vinegar plus bleach. It releases a toxic chlorine gas because vinegar you have that the alcohol, and in the bleach you have chlorine, so the hypochlorous acid, and which react together and releases toxic chlorine, which is not good. Now I am coming to the second part of my talk, which is I think very, very important, because in my first part of my talk I just explain some background about the COVID and the Make It India initiative. So how this affected the whole country, entire world? The effect of COVID-19, a big loss. If you look at agriculture, because of this COVID-19, agriculture is badly affected, not only in India, in entire world. And the fuel or oil prices has gone up. And the major impact on the teaching. Now we all know because of this COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown, we all are sitting at home, no classes on the room. Only the classes are conducted through online or e-learning. There are some advantages, but several are disadvantages because chalk and board and classroom teaching is one of the best, I would say. No one can replace the classroom teaching and the chalk and board teaching, because when classroom teaching is there and chalk and board teaching is there, when a teacher is in the class, when he start writing in the board, he repeat the same thing several times. And when you have a teaching through slides, within a second, the slides goes, it changes to the next slide. So in a chalk and board method, what happens when teacher is teaching, the same concept is repeated several times. So what happens? It retain in the mind of the student. It is saying it is simple concept. Like one thing when you repeat once, and same thing when it is repeated 10 times. So when it is repeated 10 times, it will retain for a longer time. And also, effectively, the teacher can explain on the board, and also he can check the notebook of the students, either in this corner, in that corner, so that he can find where is the problem. Through e-learning or through slides, it is difficult to find where the problem is, because in the class we have a different type of students. Some are very brilliant, some are not, and some are very poor. And those students who are not very good in concept, actually they need more attention. When chalk and board method is there, when teacher is in the class, he and she can interact with a weak student and can find where is the problem. But through the PowerPoint online, that is not very much possible. However, there are some advantages of this e-learning. Because of this problem, several students who are not able to use the computer, they were not able to make the PowerPoint presentations. But because of this unforced condition, they have to use the e-learning process, or you can say through the PowerPoint, using the computer. They have to use the computer, they have to use laptop, or they have to use the mobile. So these are some advantages, and, and people will learn how to use these now smart devices. And the major drawback is in chemical manufacturing industry. Because of this COVID-19 pandemic lockdown, and there is another reason between India and China, because of on the tension on the border, raw material, because if we look, not only India, most of the countries, they are importing the raw material from the China because of its low cost. And at present, all the countries are badly affected because of this COVID-19, as well as what the tension is on the border. So the raw material required for the drug, for the smart material, it's just taking long time, and they are totally dependent upon the China. And the making the drug is becoming difficult. Production is slow down. So this is one of the area where we need to become a self-dependent, and that I will explain in our banking sector is also down, and you can see the tourism, aviation, all are badly affected. Still, the flights are restricted. Only limited flights are flying, and the healthcare and pharmaceutical industries. Now, this is one of the another. major problem because of this COVID-19. And if you look, most of the hospital are now become a COVID-19 hospital. In our country, it's not only the COVID-19 patients are there. We have a different uh, patient, the different diseases, heart diseases, kidney, different kind of diseases. But because of this COVID-19, patients are greatly suffering because they are not getting the proper treatment. Hospitals are not available. Limited hospitals have where you don't find a COVID-19 patient. Because of the COVID-19, other patients are on high risk. They can be affected with the COVID-19. And once anybody is having a problem of heart problem, lung problem, any other problem, so this virus can easily infect those patients who are not COVID-19 positive, but they are coming because of the another problem in the hospitals. So because of this COVID-19, these hospitals, even though now the medicines are also restricted, all the doctors are not uh, going for a routine OPDs. They are only going only for the major cases. Only government hospitals OPDs are running. But we have our country having a very large number of population, and according to the population, we need more doctors and hospitals. Real estate is down. See, because running a country, we need the government need money, and this funds comes from the tax. So when there is no tax, when there's no enough tax, how the country will run? And this is because of this we all are suffering. Food industry, all most of the restaurants are now closed, and very limited entries are there. See, sports industry is a big hub. Medicine, professional sports goods, sports retailing, fitness training, sports tourism. So because of this COVID-19, all are badly affected. Family violence. Even though now we all know that in the marriages, there are limitations. Only limited people can attend the marriage. And this is one of the recent uh, note has published in Wiley, concept-oriented research and development in information technology. Information technology is now everybody is using and nowadays. So we look just this slide. I am showing you only few just chemicals. The major chemicals imported in India from the China. Alicyclic alcohol. All alicyclic alcohol means long chain, small chain alcohol, which are not in cyclic. Ethanol, isopropanol. What I showed you, all we are importing from the China. Cyclic hydrocarbon, all the hydrocarbon aromatic. Even though if you look caustic soda NaOH, liquid chlorine, these are very routine and very commonly used in several this day-to-day uh, day-to-day appliances. And caustic soda used in soap industry. Liquid chlorine is used as a disinfectant. Hydrocarbons. So what I mean to say, we are totally dependent upon China for these small things, which we are routinely using. So why we have to all the time depend upon the China? Why we can't start making all these chemicals in our country, but we need to make the efforts. I have shown you here some very common chemicals, which are routine chemicals, and we are importing from the China. We are totally dependent upon the China. India has initiated a probe into alleged dumping of Chinese product that affects the various sector. You can see mobile phone. So India still relies on imported part from the China for assembly because of the lack of an ecosystem of component manufacturers here. If you look this is a 2018 this bar diagram you can see here by this Chinese phone mark 67%. 67% from the China and rest 24 and 19% from others. In the pharma industries depend upon around 70% the starting material, raw material required for the pharma industry is we are importing from the China. In case of any tariff or import, only the Sun Pharma, there are some companies like Sun Pharma, Cipla, will be less impacted as they are fully integrated and have considerable exposure to the branded business. They are making such kind of drug and chemicals where they have in-house starting substrate, chemical and agrochemical. I will tell you in agrochemicals, in an agriculture, urea is used. And still urea we are importing from the China. Higher impact on these companies, Rallis, Dhanuka, Sumitra India, insecticide. And lower impact, it has lower impact on PI is a pesticide India, which is in Udaipur, Upil Coronated, and Bayers India. So these are companies which are least uh, in impact because of this corona because they are making and they have in-house starting substrate and potential beneficiaries are SRF, RT Industries, Atul Limited, Bharat Rasayan, and Excel Industries. In target after COVID-19, if you look the mineral fuels, oil, distillation product, fertilizers, iron, steel, organic, nuclear reactor, electronic, all these are China's. Now, this is one of the most important slides, and everybody must focus on this slide. If you look this economy, what is that? China is producer, and we are consumer. Majority of the raw material products are coming from the China. We are consuming, and we are strengthening the Chinese economy. Our economy is going down, but the Chinese economy has increased because of consumers, and India is the main consumers of the product from the China. India is the main hub because of its population, its strength. India is giving the major amount to the China. You can see and products and the another thing is that why we have to depend upon all the time on China. How long? If China will shut down all the things, then what will happen? What we will do? So this is a really alarming situation for our country, people of this country, so that we should wake up now. This is the right time to hit because of this. Whether you can think about this COVID-19 or whatever situation is there, we all need to wake up and start on Make in India initiative. So this is just some graph you can see here. Item imported from the China to India. Electrical machinery, 34%. Nuclear reactor and machinery, 18%. Organic chemical, 10%. Gems and jewelry, 6%. Iron and steel, 4%. And in recently, we were totally dependent upon the China for having this PPE kit, N95 mask. And this is the most important you can see here. API imported, look, penicillin G, 100% we are dependent upon China. Levodopa, 100% dependent upon China. Tetracycline, 77. Potassium chloride, 69. Cyclovir, 66. So if you look this, if China stops all these antibiotics, what will happen? Though China is selling us because he is strengthening his economy. But why we have to depend upon the China all the time? So that's why now government of India is very much concerned, and they are encouraging industry, academia, and all the people. So what is this NMP project? National Manufacturing Policy. What are the objective? Promote promote investment in the manufacturing sector, make India a hub for both domestic and international market, increase the share of manufacturing in GDP to 25% by 2022 to enhance global competitiveness of India's manufacturing sector. NMP processes setting up of national investment and manufacturing zones, which are located in area with continuous land of 5,000 hectares. So this is NIMZ would be a combination of production unit, public utilities, logistic, environmental protection mechanism, residential areas, and administrative services. The sector of strategic importance, the most important are defense equipment, aerospace, shipbuilding and repair, capital goods and engineering. The sector of basic inputs are this includes steel, mineral exploration and development, fertilizers, cements. Sector for depth and value addition includes automotive, electronics, drug pharma, chemicals, petrochemical, paper. Sector for employment generation, textile, food processing, leather and leather goods, gem and jewelry. So these are, I have shown you here some antibiotics and paracetamol. Even the paracetamol we are importing from the China. So, and halones, a wonder gas, we are importing from the China. What is halone base? Halones are used both for aircraft and marine for fire protection system. So this is important. COVID-19, a wake up call for India. The prime aim should be to foster the development of new processes for the key API, active pharmaceuticals ingredients, and raw material currently being imported from the China under the Make in India initiative launched by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. This initiative will help the country to reduce its dependence on the China for APIs and will also create a job opportunities for Indian research scholars. See, we are dependent upon China since a long, but this cannot we cannot do within a few months and few years. It will take a long time to become a self-dependent, and not only industries. This need to be started from the basic level. universities and industries should train the research scholar with the basic and industrial knowledge. I these are the point I have made it, because see, in India, the most of the manpower, what you can look here, the research scholars are in the universities, not in all the IITs, not in ICERs. They have a limited number of seats. Universities, central universities, the state universities are the main hub where the research is, majority of research scholars are working. So what is required? The university and industry set up a MOU, and they should train the research scholar with the basic and industrial knowledge. So what is mainly in this? Students, or you can say the research scholar who are working for the PhD, there should be a some kind of training for the each and every student in the industry, so that the student can have a flavor of the industry. So this, under this initiative, all the research scholars will have an essence of academia and industry. Beside basic problem, all the research scholar will also be involved in the industrial project. So this is also very, very important. So in the lab, what we are doing, we involve most of the students in paper oriented research, basic research, but they are not doing any industrial synthesis or industrial training. They are only and only focused for the publication. So what should be in the future? The research scholar should be motivated. Beside doing this basic research and publication, they should also have at least one project during the PhD industry oriented. So that maybe some of the students can go in the different line. So besides this basic problem, all the scholar will also be involved in the industrial project and will be encouraged for the pilot plant training. So pilot plant is very, very important, because see, exposure is important. Until unless they will not know what is the pilot plant, what is the industrial research, how they will think they have to go there. So if they will have a sense of this industrial research and pilot plant, maybe some of the students will initiate their own industry, or they may have some their thoughts, so they can work on that. Such training will open the doors of academics as well as industry, and the scholars can choose either academia or industry as a future. So this was my last slide. To stop COVID-19, stay home when it is essential, and save lives. This is this is the Department of Chemistry. You can see, all of you can see here, and this is whole is a chemistry department building. And this side we have a MSc labs, chemistry, and zero defect, zero effect. So thank you to all of you. And my message to all the research scholar is, please, all of you need to look for our country and work for our country and dedicate yourself for the building of our nation. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Professor. From chemistry to uh, medical biotechnology, to technology. You have traveled a very, very long way, but it was very wonderful presentation. What you have told about COVID, how it has started, what it is, and how it transforms, how it hits, what are all the things there. Really fantastic to for that kind of knowledge you have imparted. Now, with all putting together, I'm sure this session was very, very, very informative, and many things were explained by you in very, very simple manner in which people, anybody who listens this particular conversation or this webinar, who is attending this webinar, would be able to understand things, and absolutely the message what you gave will reach out to more people, through them to many more. Thank you so much, Professor Akhilesh.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now we move on to the question session.
No problem. Yeah, sure.
Very interesting question, Professor. How did this particular topic came? As a chemistry professor, people will expect you to talk something about chemistry, and I know you are very, very familiar person in Department of Chemistry of Delhi University. Your students speak out a lot about you. How did you choose this subject? Why do you think that it is important, Professor?
Very good question. Actually, when I was there in US for postdoc in 2000. And actually, I got a job in Pfizer company in 2000 itself. But I choose to return back.
That's great.
I choose to return back to serve my country. And and one must have a feeling to work for your own country. Then only country can grow.
Very
There,
well said.
there I have, there I have seen when I was the postdoc in Florida in 2000. I have seen there was one, there was several people from China, from India, and Russia, and there was only one postdoc from the US. Sorry, from the Japan. So I asked him why very few people are from the Japan. So what was his reply? He said, "We are working for our country." So after completing a postdoc, he returned back to Japan. The people from India, China, and Russia always they have their dream to stay in US for
Absolutely.
having a different kind of life. But I was really impressed with the Japanese guy. Not only that, even though before going there, I was having always in my mind, whatever I have to do, I have to do for my own country. So that is why I returned back. And when this COVID-19 was started, what what I realized, because of this COVID-19, I know there is a problem and one must take all the precautions. And because of this COVID-19, there are several, or you can say large number of people, they are taking the advantage of this being a COVID-19, and they are staying home. And they are not working. Because we all know this is the situation where we have to serve for our country. We have to work for our country. Government is paying a salary for all of us. And what return we are giving to our nation? And if we look, all the ministries are working full fledged.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nothing will happen. One should take all the measures and guidelines issued by the government of India, and they can work, because we have to come out with the present this current situation, and we can only come out when all the people will make their sincere efforts, because economy is down. We have to uplift our economy. We have to work together, and that is why I choose a different kind of this title. And and all the time it is in my mind, why we should all the time depend upon the China? Why we cannot? We can become a superpower when we start. Whatever we are importing from the China, other countries will come to the India, will create a more job, because at present our people from different countries, they are coming back because of this current scenario. So there is going to be a big problem in our country. Large number of academicians, they are coming back. What they will do, where they will go? We have a brain, no doubt. And at present the government is supporting each and every project. If it is having some kind of light where we can have some output, government is ready to funds for those kind of projects. So people from different countries are coming back, and if they will make the efforts, I am sure in the coming years we will become self-dependent on what we are importing from the China. China is at present is a superpower because of all of us. We are we are making their economy. We are losing our economy, but Chinese economy is going up. Our economy is going down. Maybe in India, if we have to manufacture, it will be little expensive. No doubt, no problem. We have to pay for that. We have to pay that. But what will happen? The whatever money or taxes will be there, it will be in our country.
True.
It will not go to the China.
True. It's a
So
real
we
good.
should be ready for we should be ready for a little more expensive. No problem. But this will strengthen our country.
True.
This
Ab-
will strengthen our economy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This will make ourselves self-dependent.
Absolutely. Now coming to second question, Professor. Only unlike in India, only few provinces in China, those coastal provinces, what we can say, almost 33% of the total production of China is from few
Mm.
provinces like
Yeah.
Jiangsu,
Mm.
Guangdong, Shanghai, and Xinjiang provinces, four or five.
Right.
This Make in India initiative, MSMEs and small production houses, if we actually go to full swing,
Mm.
what would be the impact of India versus China or anybody for that sake? I'm not against China or anybody for that sake. Let us challenge ourselves, is what I
Right.
personally feel. So, what will be
No,
the
yes, yes.
impact?
So if even though at present the China is in trouble. They know like India is going to start their own. So once we will start production in India, their economy will be down. The people in China who have jobs, and because of these very small scale industries, they will the problem will be created to those who are working in small industries. And Chinese government need to think about their people. But with this, what will happen once we start all these small scale industries in India, and the impact will be our people will get the job. The people who are living in the rural area, they will get a job. They will not, even though if these things will happen, crime rate will be down.
Absolutely.
The moving of the people from rural area to the major cities will be stopped. Why they
Absolutely.
have to move? Because in our country, the majority of people, they are living in the rural area,
Absolutely.
and for getting a day-to-day survival money, they are moving to the major cities. So that is going, that if we start all these things, there is no doubt we will be on the top, and other countries will approach to our country for the import of their export of our items to the other countries.
I have my next question. Uh, Professor, in an education institution, if I have to put it specific, a institution of like Delhi University, which is in world order today, uh, it's accredited. What is the role of faculty and students for contributing to the patents? Because we see
Yes,
we see today the largest number of patents are from China,
yes,
and the least we are only yet to contribute like situation.
yes.
So
Very good question.
how we can change the
So
gear?
yeah, this question is very important, and I was thinking like someone is going to ask this question. So India, you know, when research scholars and faculties, they are working for some problem, even though they have some good lead, and they are reluctant to make a patent. Why they are reluctant? Because of our system. University system, if you start the file, it takes, even the DU, I would say, I was having several things, but I did not patent. I had made only one patent that is also granted, but that I started 4 years before. But now 2 3 weeks before it was granted, because for filing a patent you need a money, and our university system file goes through a several channel. I think you all know very well.
Absolutely.
It should start from your head, then goes to the section in the administrative office. From administrative office, it goes to the section officer, then deputy registrar, and then registrar, and then maybe in the legal cell and all. And it takes years and years. If you don't pursue your file, it will not come back. I am telling you the truth, and this is the main problem in our country. China, US, and other countries do not like that. Once you process your paper, very soon it will be done. Even though they are giving money for patenting, but see, in Delhi University, I have seen since long time. Actually, there should be a separate patent cell. One should be there, and there should be a minimum time period for processing the file, which we don't have. In the university system, even though IIT and CSIR lab, they have a CSIR lab, they have a different patent cell, and they are doing. That's why they have more number of patents. In university, we don't have a patent because once we process the file, it will be lost somewhere. So that is the one reason. And also, the student want quick publication, fast publication. Once you are in process, you cannot publish your work until unless it is filed. So that is one reason. And another thing is faculty are not much interested. Some faculty are interested. See, research is required a complete dedication, and you need to have a project. You need to have an infrastructure. And this, see, there are central universities, some central university you will find the complete infrastructure. State university condition is worst, even though just for a teaching, because you will not find a complete infrastructure in the state university. State university condition need to be revamped rather than opening a small several universities. Government need to put efforts to improve the ongoing state universities. How you will get a good a quality researcher from there until unless you will give them infrastructure. For the data collection, you need to have all the required instrument. Sometimes what happens when a student doesn't get the data, they lose their interest, they go back, they run away. Environment need to be created. Research environment is more important. Some initiative need to be there. Initiative and environment, research environment is
Both
most
are important.
important. Yeah.
Both are important. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm going to the third question, Professor.
Mhm.
India is full of youths. The youth population
Yes.
is
Yes. Yes. Yes.
humongous. What kind of advantage we can take out for making India, like vocational studies,
Yes. 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 Yes.
skill studies, BVOC, all these things are helping us. What kind of advantages further we can look at as an institution?
It's very good. Another very good question. So India, if you look India and Germany and Australia, the population of young generation, you know, if this young generation can wake up, they can do anything. And but they need the right direction. They need a platform. So they need to have a platform. And and the best thing is education. Education is the backbone of any country. And we know we have a very India is the number one where you have a maximum number of youth. And if we can motivate these young youth in right direction, technology, science, research, or whatever stream is there, we need to find something for younger people. But it looks we need to make more efforts to bring these brilliant mind in right direction. If you look Google and all the ITs, our Indians are leading.
Absolutely
But but India, we need to have more opportunities for these younger people.
true.
And all the level. It's not only after the PhD, all
All
after
levels.
10th also, after 12th also, after BSc also, so that they can be absorbed.
Absolutely.
We have all kind all the platforms. We have a PhDs also, we have a graduate also, we have an undergraduate also, we have a 12th also. So we must have some kind of like any where they can be absorbed. Not only for MSc and PhDs, because there we have a very large number of population, and still the people are not getting the jobs. So many caliber uh, students, well qualified, they are on the road. So they need to be identified. They need to be given the right direction so that our country can grow.
Fantastic, fantastic, Professor. The question next is, as you rightly said, in this scenario of online education mode, sudden shift uh, towards this, our students are missing practical experiences,
Yes,
practical
yes, yes.
classes, and the experiences what they are getting out of it. Uh, how to overcome? What is your thought? Just any inputs for how to improve the practical aspect of studies?
See, this practical exposure, no, nobody can replace this thing. Whatever students they do in the laboratory, like for master's practicals, undergraduate practicals, and medical
Absolutely,
MBBS,
absolutely.
right? Because at present I have seen there are large number of students who are in third year. They are not exposed to the
Trials.
clinical practices, right? So they are not exposed. So definitely they are going to suffer because this situation arises like and we don't have a control on this. But this we have to go through the theory, and they should be provided in modules or practicals through online, or they should be given uh, some lectures on the practicals, how it is conducted, what is that. They should not, actually students should not be left just because the practical is not conducted, because eh, they are suffering because of this condition which is not in our control. They all are suffering. There's no doubt this gap cannot be filled, but we can reduce the gap by giving the lectures on the practicals or making movies on the practicals.
Very well said.
They can be shown the movies how this practical is is conducted, so that at least they will know this practical is there and this can be done like this. Maybe in the coming future they will be exposed to the real practical in the lab, so they can just make up all these practicals.
Fantastic, Professor. Fantastic, Professor. Now the last question. Um, Make in India to Atmanirbhar Bharat. What would be the distance we have to cross?
This question, in Make in India, we have started 2014, and still we are very far away from the honestly. Because if you look at present, also uh, we are importing everything from China, most of the things, and uh, government need to take some very strong decisions, and this is stop maybe few things from the China, so that, or they should uh, give some task to the CSIR labs, industries, or some initiative to start these production in India.
Incentivize, you mean to say?
Incentive, yeah, incentive is required, and also they need to inculcate this thing in young budding researchers. So the coming generation should be totally different from the previous generation.
Absolutely.
They must have everything in their mind. They have to work for their country, and they have to do something so that they are working for the country and they earn something.
That's fantastic. Professor, it is very informative session what you have shared with us. In spite of your busy schedule and commitments, getting you over in this webinar, we feel that we are very much blessed, and we look more in other subjects and your subject also in the days to come. To give a formal vote of thank or for your contribution in this title, Make in India Initiative, COVID-19 Pandemic and Future Challenges. Thank you, Professor Akhilesh Verma. We are still looking for more from you.
Thank you,
Jai
thank
Hind.
you, thank you,
Jai Hind.
thank you,
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Jai Hind.